In today's video, I'm going to review 3 different methods of division. First, we're going to go over the area method here. All right, so first with the area method, if I were to do 249 divided by 3, I'm going to start with a box. And remember, this box is going to represent the total area of 249, and I'm dividing by 3. So how the area method works is basically if I am dividing 249 by 3, that means whatever 3 times whatever number this is will equal 249. So up here will be my quotient, my answer. So start with 3, and we're wanting to know how many times does 3 go into 200. So you're going to start with your brain dump. So I'm going to make my brain dump over here. What I know about 3, 1 times 3 is 3. I don't know, that's not really going to help me a whole lot right now. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. And I'm just going to keep going until I can find something, one of these numbers that will help me know how many times 3 goes into 200. And I'm getting close. Like right now I see a 12, and right here I see a 20. I'm going to keep going to see if I can get one of these numbers close to 20. Okay, let's keep going. 5 times 3 is 15, getting closer. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. Now, 21 is going to be a little bit too big. That's not going to help me a ton because that goes over this 20 amount. Okay, so let's use this guy. 6 times 3 is 18. If I know 6 times 3 is 18, then I also know that 60 times 3 is 180. Okay, let's use that. So 3 goes into 200 60 times. It equals 180. So now I'm going to subtract that to see how much I have left over. So 200 minus 180 is 20. Now I'm going to bring those 20 and bring them over to my 40 and add them over here, because I'm just slowly using up all of this area. Okay. All right. So now my new number I'm dealing with is 60. All right. Well, I'll come back over to my brain dump. I know that 2 times 3 is 6. So that means that 20 times 3 is 60. Yay. Works out nicely and pretty. So I'm going to come over here, say 3 goes into 60 20 times. 20 times 3 is 60. Subtract, we have nothing left over here. So now my last number I'm dealing with is this 9. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract to get 0. So my answer, if I add these together, is going to be 60 plus 20 plus 3, which is 83. And if I check that, 83 times 3, 3 times 3 is 9, 8 times 3 is 24. I have the same answer as what I started with. So, checked it. That is the correct answer. 83. Okay, next we have our partial quotients method. So if I were to take 1,730 and dividing it by 6, to start this method out, I'm going to set it up like so. So 1,730 and divided by, and this is also called the big 7 method, divided by 6. All right, again, we want to have our brain dump. So everything about division is wanting to know how many times does this number, our divisor, how many times does it go into this number, our dividend? Okay, so if I have 1,730, how many times does 6 go into 1,730? So let's figure out what we know about 6. The easiest place to start with this method is to start in tens. So here's what I mean by that. So I know that 1 times 6 equals 6. So that also means that 10 times 6 equals 60. And 100 times 6 equals 600. 1,000 times 6 equals 6,000. I'm going to use these numbers to help me first. Okay, I want the biggest number possible that I can take out without going over. 1,000 times 6 equals 6,000. I only have 1,730. That's too big. Let's go to this guy, okay? Let's take out a group of 100. So what I like about this method is I can just slowly take away groups of 6. So right here, I'm taking away 100 groups of 6. And when I took away 100 groups of 6, I just used up 600 of this 1,730. So I want to take away 600. See what we have left over. 7 minus 6 is 1, 1,130. And again, I have at least another 100 groups of 6 here. I can take away 600 more, so let's do that again. 100, circle parts of my quotient. Let's take away another 600. Can't do that, need to borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5. Okay, so now I have 530. That's 530 is too small. I can't take away another 10 groups. Okay, well, I can take a group of 10. Should we take away 60? Let's try that. So let's take away 10 groups of 60. Or sorry, 10 groups of 6, which equals 60. 0 minus 0, 0. Borrow u, become a 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. And we have 470. Okay, now looking at this, it's going to take a while if I keep on just going by groups of 60, which I can. But now I want to start looking, what do I know about 6? Okay, so I know 1 times 6 is 6. Well, let's expand our horizons here a little bit. 2 times 6 equals 12. 3 times 6 equals 18. 4 times 6 equals 24. 5 times 6 equals 30. 6 times 6 equals 36. 7 times 6 equals 42. And 8 times 6 equals 48. Okay, I want to use this one. 7 times 6 equals 42. So knowing that 7 times 6 is 42, I can get this pretty close right here and say 70 times 6 equals 420. I can use that amount. So let's take out 70 groups of 6 and subtract 420. That's going to give me 50 left over. All right, we're getting close. We have 50. We want to know how many groups of 6 we can make in 50. Ooh, check this out. 6 times 8 is 48. I can take out 8 groups of 6. And 8 times 6 is 48. Uh-oh, running out of room. 50 minus 48 is 2. And I know to stop because this number is smaller than my divisor. It's smaller than what I'm dividing by. So I can't make any more groups of 6 here. Okay, so to get my answer, I'm going to add up all of these amounts. 100 plus 100, 200. 10 plus 70 is 80. And then 8. So I have 288 is my answer. And I don't want to forget my remainder down there, what I had left over when I subtracted, which was 2. Okay, so that's what we came up with as our answer. Let's check it. 288 times 6 equals, I'm going to have to erase here to get some room. Okay, 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 8 is 48. 49, 50, 51, 52. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17. Now I want to add my 2 back in here for my remainder. 8 plus 2 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. 7, 1. I have 1,730, which is what I started with, my divisor here. There we go, or my dividend, I should say. So that means that 282, remainder 2, is the for sure correct answer. And our last method is going to be the box method. So if I was to take 9,038 and divide by 3, here's how I would set up my box. So kind of like the area method, I'm going to set up a box. And I want to have a different section in my box for each digit. So I have 4 digits, so I'm going to have 4 sections. And I'm going to write 9,000 in the top right corner of each section of the box. It's really important you put them in the top right-hand corner. And I'm dividing by 3. Okay, we have a phrase that will help us to know what to do, all the different steps for this method. It's does McDonald's sell cheese burgers? And in this phrase, it helps us, it's a mnemonic device to help us remember to divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, or bring over. Okay, so here's what that means. Start with your 9. I want to divide, so I want to divide 9 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 9? Well, 3, 6, 9. It goes in 3 times. So I'm going to put my 3 up here, and my next step is to multiply. So now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. My next step is to subtract. So I'm going to do 9 minus 9. Get 0. My next step is to check. I'm checking, is this number smaller than what I'm dividing by? Which it is. 0 is smaller than 3, so I'm good there. And I'm going to bring over. So I'm going to bring this 0 over to my next amount. And I start the cycle right back over at the top again. Okay, now I'm going to divide. I have 0. I'm dividing 0 by 3. Well, if this number over here is ever smaller than this number, it goes in, I can make 0 groups of 3, so I'm going to put a 0 up here. And multiply. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract. I get 0. Check it. Is 0 smaller than 3? Sure is. And bring over. So I'm going to bring that 0 over to this 3. And start again back over. Divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 goes into 3 one time. Multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract. Get a 0. And check it. Yes, 0 is smaller than 3. And bring over to my 8. How many times, and start again back over. How many times does 3 go into 8? Well, count by 3s. 3, 6, 9. 9's too big. So it goes 3, 6, so it goes in 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. My next step is to subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. Check it. 2 is smaller than 3. Yes. So we're good here. And bring down, but there's no other numbers to bring my 2 over to. So this is my remainder. So our answer is 3,012 with a remainder of 2. Okay, let's check this, make sure we have it correct. Remember, I'm going to take my quotient, multiply it by my divisor. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 3 is 9, and add back in my remainder. Now, if I check it, 9,038 is what we should have started with, which it is, 9,038. So we've checked it. So that means our answer is for sure, I'm going to highlight it here, is for sure 3,012 with a remainder of 2.